Princess Diana, also known as the People's Princess, is still one of the most well-known royals, even though she died many years ago. Her wedding to Prince Charles at the time was one of the biggest in the history of the British royal family. It was also marked by scandal after scandal. Though she had died many years before, her secret book suddenly came out with all the details about King Charles and their failed marriage. What really happened between Princess Diana and King Charles? What did she write in her long-lost diary that we don't know about? Watch around to find out. From the first time Diana and Charles met to the sad end of their relationship, they were connected but not close. Not long before he married Diana, and even while they were married, everyone knew that Charles was seeing Camilla, his real love. But everyone still doesn't understand why he married her, when he didn't love her. Prince Charles' book says that his father, Prince Philip, made him marry Diana in 1994, even though he didn't want to. After seeing him at Balmoral Castle, his father told him that Diana could become queen and that if she didn't marry him, her image would suffer. It was said that he was under a lot of stress as the heir, which is why he chose to marry her. It's mostly because Diana ended up in this marriage that many Diana fans blame Charles for making this choice. Diana also said yes right away to Charles's proposal, even though there were reports that he was seeing Camilla Parker Bowles. Their not-so-love story began in 1977, when Diana Spencer met Prince Charles through Lady Sarah. He was 29 years old and she was 16. Even though they liked each other, they wouldn't start dating for more than a year. At first, Charles dated Diana's sister, but by 1980 they met again at the house of a friend. They became close because he was sad about the death of his great-uncle, Lord Mountbatten. He went out with her 13 times before they got married, all in the same year. Charles told the BBC once that he was sure Diana was the one, but no one knows if that was really true. In 1981, Prince Charles asked Diana to marry him, and she said yes. In a later interview, the princess said that it was clear that she should say yes. She told him, "I thought about it for a long time because I knew it was hard for both of us in the end. It wasn't hard to make the choice. This is what I wanted. That's what I need." Then they said they were getting married, but the relationship was always shaky from the start. When asked, Diana didn't think twice about saying that they were in love. At the same time, Charles said, whatever love means, Diana was 19 years old this year, and she would later say that this reaction hurt her deeply. The wedding of Prince Charles and Princess Diana on July 29, 1981, broke all kinds of records and was so beautiful that it was made a public holiday. It also cost the palace $48 million. It had been 300 years since the last British woman married an heir to the throne. 3.5 million people were outside the church, another 6 million were out in the streets, and 7.5 million more watched from home. She told Andrew Morton, the author of Diana, her true story in her own words, about the wedding in secret tapes. "I just absolutely thought I was the luckiest girl in the world," she said. "He was going to look after me for the first 5 years. Their marriage appeared dreamy to the public, and they had 2 sons. In some interviews, they seemed tense, but apart from that, their relationship appeared steady." That wasn't the case. As Charles resumed his relationship with Camilla in 1986, as time went on, the couple was spending time in separate locations. Then Diana shocked the world when she revealed her biography with details about her unhappiness in her marriage and mental health struggles. It rocked the royal family, causing the couple to separate in the same year. A month after they separated, the private calls between Charles and Camilla were revealed in which they flirted and confessed their love to each other. As the years went on, Charles admitted to cheating on Diana, and Diana admitted to cheating on Charles too. Well, there were 3 of us in this marriage, so it was a bit crowded, with the third person being Camilla. By 1996, the couple finally divorced, and everyone thought this would be Diana's chance to explore her happiness away from her husband and the royal family. But a year later, the shocking news came that she passed away. On August 31st, 1997, Princess Diana passed away at the age of 36 after going into cardiac arrest during a high-speed car crash. Her boyfriend, Dodi Al-Fayed, and the driver, Henry Paul, were also killed in the accident. At the time of this accident, it was reported that the group was being chased by paparazzi members, which led to the accident. But later reports said that the driver was drunk at the time of the accident. Her passing sent shockwaves around the world, sparking widespread mourning and igniting rumors and controversies. Some blamed the paparazzi, while others questioned the royal family. Buckingham Palace's first response appeared distant and inadequate, and many criticized Prince Charles for having a cold reaction to her death. The royal family tried to shield the young princes William and Harry from intense media attention, but this was misinterpreted. Almost immediately after Diana's death, rumors and conspiracy theories began to circulate, fueled mainly by the circumstances of the crash and the fact that Dodi Fayyad's father, Mohammed Al Fayyad, publicly suggested that the British establishment had orchestrated the accident to prevent Diana from marrying Dodi. These theories were further stoked by discrepancies in the details of the crash, such as the initial failure to fasten seatbelts and the fact that the driver, Henry Paul, had alcohol in his system. Several investigations were launched to uncover the truth behind the accident. The French investigation, followed by an exhaustive British inquest, concluded that the crash resulted from reckless driving by Henry Paul and the pursuit by the paparazzi. Despite these findings, the theories of foul play continued to circulate, keeping alive speculation about the actual cause of Diana's death, who had long been linked to Charles during his marriage to Diana. Found herself in a highly delicate position after Diana's death. Camilla was often painted as the villain in Diana's narrative, and in the immediate aftermath of the tragedy, she largely stayed out of the public eye. Camilla and Charles were aware that public missteps could lead to further criticism. Even after her death, Princess Diana's role as the people's princess and a great mother to her sons remained strong. Some of her friends say that Princess Diana always believed she would die young and never be queen. So she guessed she would never meet her future daughters-in-law. Due to this, she recorded an audio diary for their future wives, Kate Middleton and Meghan Markle, from 1992, after her book was revealed, till 1997 when she passed away. In the tapes, she offers motherly advice and reveals her hopes for the future of William and Harry. Years after her death, Princess Diana's secret diary became a window into the state of her mind during her turbulent marriage to King Charles. This diary was the only way Diana could deal with the pressures of royal life and how isolated she felt, even while married. On the surface, Diana appeared to be a glamorous woman adored by the public. She was even revered as the people's princess, and many were jealous of her. But in truth, behind this facade, the reality was very different. For one, Diana found adjusting to rigid royal protocols challenging and was constantly scrutinized due to her fame. She felt increasingly trapped in the royal family and used the diary to release the frustration she could not share. In the diary, she also revealed the secrets of her life as a royal and a wife to King Charles. The cracks in her marriage became more apparent in her entries, shifting from uncertainty to heartbreak and anger. She had hopes for her marriage when she entered it with King Charles, hoping they would have a relationship built on mutual respect. She even broke protocol by removing the word obey from her wedding vows. But the hopes faded when she realized that Charles' affections were for another woman, Camilla, and not her. In one aspect of her diary, she talked about the deepening emotional rift between her and Charles. She said, "I thought we were supposed to be in this together, but it feels like I'm fighting alone as time passed." Her diary's writings moved from loneliness to resentment. She looked like she had given up on making her marriage work and was angry at Charles for having an affair with Camilla Parker Bowles. To make things even worse, Camilla felt helpless and angry that the royal family had accepted Charles' affair while they were still together. She felt like she had to keep quiet, even though her feelings were getting worse. She once asked the Queen for help with her unhappy marriage. She told the Queen, "The first don't know what I should do," as she cried. The Queen then said, "I don't know what you should do," but she didn't offer any help or support. Charles was the heir, so the house closed lines around him. This left her to deal with her broken marriage on her own. She wrote in her notebook, "It's like my feelings don't matter, he doesn't care about me." What did he do to me? Her raw pain and sense of betrayal are evident in these words, showing how her seemingly perfect marriage was already unraveling. Diana used her diary to record her inner thoughts and feelings much deeper and more intimate than the letters she is known for. Royal insiders say that she turned to it as her fairy tale marriage became a nightmare and the diary was like therapy. Princess Diana's diary and secret tapes revealed many truths about her marriage. One shocking aspect of her diary is that she revealed that her husband, King Charles, was jealous of her because she attracted more attention from the public than he did. Their relationship was marred by jealousy. In 1995, Diana revealed that Charles resented the attention she received from the public. She said that Charles was jealous because during walkabouts, most people asked to meet her instead of him, the heir to the throne. Even when they went on tours to other countries like Australia and New Zealand, Diana received most of the attention, and Charles was relegated to the background. When they first married, Prince Charles was one of the most eligible bachelors in the world, and Diana was simply a 19-year-old nursery school teacher. But after they married, Diana became a bigger star, causing Charles to be jealous and wanted to meet Diana instead. Diana was well aware of her husband's feelings, which, as she revealed in her diaries, only made her feel more isolated and saddened in her marriage. Looking at the difference between Diana, Camilla, and Charles, while Charles is jealous of Diana's success, he can't be prouder of Camilla. In another entry in her diary, Diana wrote, "I'm not just his wife, I'm a person. I believe to be heard." There's no doubt that she felt like being the wife to the heir was all she was, despite her husband's jealousy over her growing popularity. Diana was always grateful for the love and admiration of the public, although the unexpected cost was her husband's jealousy. She also wrote, "He hates that they love me more than him. I can feel it when we're out together. It's as if he can't stand that the crowd cheers louder for me." Her diary paints a picture of an insecure man. Due to his insecurity, he poured his frustration out on Diana, making snide comments about her appearance and downplaying her contributions to royal duties. His snide comments caused her to feel like she would never be good enough for him, as she struggled with bulimia to control her weight because of his words whenever she ate. She said in one of her secret tapes, "My husband made me feel so inadequate in every way possible. Each time I came up for air, he pushed me down again. Even if I ate a lot of dinner," Charles would say, "is that going to reappear later? What a waste." Charles' jealousy is not the only reason their marriage has so much tension. His ongoing affair with Camilla was also a factor that left Diana deeply wounded from the start of their marriage. Diana would later have affairs after she realized there was no hope for her and Charles to have a loving relationship, as he always had eyes for Camilla. All these issues continued to push Diana down as she entered the marriage, hoping for mutual respect. Instead, she found herself pushed down by the man she planned to share her life with. She could tell Charles did not love her. Perhaps he never did. One of Diana's most intense moments, which she recorded in her diary, was encompassed by 3 words: "Go to hell." The "go to hell" marked a breaking point in Diana's relationship with Charles. After years of being disregarded, emotionally neglected and undervalued, the moment saw Diana's frustration and heartbreak boiling over into a raw, unfiltered expression of her pain. It was not just anger toward Charles, but she rejected the situation that she was in. The royal life brought her great public adoration and little personal fulfillment or emotional support. The go-to-hell moment was the day that Diana took on Camilla, finally fed up with the situation. She revealed this moment in her diary and the secret tapes, which were eventually added to her biography. This was in 1989 when Charles and Diana were already leading separate lives, and the prince had a relationship with Camilla. Diana was enraged by this and went to confront her at a party. In her secret tapes, she said, "The worst day of my life was realizing that Charles had returned to Camilla. One of the bravest moments of my 10 years of marriage was when we went to this ghastly party for Camilla's sister's 40th birthday. She had to gain confidence because no one expected her to attend the party. She resolved that she wouldn't kiss Camilla hello anymore, but would shake hands with her instead to show her resolve. While they were going to the party, Charles kept asking her why she decided to go, putting her on edge. She wrote, "Charles needled me the whole way to where the party was. Oh, why are you coming tonight? Needle, needle, needle the whole way down. I didn't bite, but I was very, very on edge. When she got to the house, she stuck her hand out, giving Camilla a handshake. It might seem small, but it was a big step for Diana. She felt like a fish out of water, with everyone there being her husband's age. After a while, she was chatting with others and suddenly noticed that Camilla and Charles were nowhere to be found. Diana went downstairs, knowing she would have to confront them. People tried to stop her, but she stood her ground and went to the room. When she got there, Camilla, Charles, and another man were chatting. She joined the conversation until the man said they should go upstairs. She then told Camilla that she would love to speak with her. When they were finally left alone, she said to Camilla, "I would just like you to know that I know exactly what is going on." Camilla played dumb, causing Diana to add, I know what's going on between you and Charles, and I just want you to know that Camilla responded. It's not a cloak and dagger situation, Diana said. I think it is, though. Diana said in her book that she wasn't as strong as she would have liked, but she brought up the subject. Camilla then told her that she would not let Charles see the kids while he was in Scotland for some reason. In her book, Diana wrote that she never takes the kids away from Charles, and that he's the one who never tries to see them. He often tells them he doesn't have time to play, she said. What shocked me was when Camilla told me, "You have everything you ever wanted. Every man in the world is crazy about you. And you have 2 beautiful kids. What else do you need?" Diana answered, "I want my husband people came up to them and told them to leave, so they couldn't keep talking." Diana said, "I'm sorry I'm in the way. I know what's going on. But it must be hell for both of you. Don't treat me like an idiot." Diana left, and she cried so much that night. She said, "I cried like I have never cried before. It was anger. It was 7 years pent-up anger coming out. I cried and cried and cried, and I didn't sleep that night." This was a decisive moment for Diana, as she finally stood up for herself and directly addressed the woman she felt was undermining her marriage. This moment didn't end the affair, but it was significant that she confronted the truth openly. Diana's struggles during her marriage continued to chase her down, especially when she suddenly got bulimia nervosa, an eating disorder. She revealed that the bulimia started the week after they got engaged, and it took her nearly a decade to overcome. Her dysfunctional marriage and the feeling of isolation among royals led to her worsening bulimia. With Charles always making snide comments about her weight, it was hard for her to keep her food down. Eventually, one of her friends forced her to get help, and she got involved with her shrink, Maurice Lipsage, who helped her get her self-esteem back and provided books on bulimia. She became stronger mentally and physically, but a shocking revelation that Diana made in her diary was about her suicide attempts. While being married to Prince Charles, she claimed that she tried committing suicide 5 times, sometimes just to get his attention. The first time it happened, their marriage was barely a year old, and she was 4 months pregnant with Prince William. She threw herself down the stairs to get her husband's attention, but to her shock, he was dismissive and just carried out of the door. She had other terrifying attempts, like throwing herself against a glass display and cutting her wrists. Beneath her graceful public image, Diana battled several mental health challenges revealed in her diary. Her diary was a harrowing account of her struggle with depression, starting from the moment they got engaged. She constantly had feelings of isolation and loneliness, feeling unseen and unheard by her husband and other members of the royal family. In her diary, she wrote, "I'm surrounded by people, but I've never felt more alone. No one understands what I'm going through. I'm expected to be perfect, but I feel like I'm falling apart." As her marriage worsened, her depression also deepened and her mental health became worse. For a woman to attempt suicide while she's pregnant, one can see the depth of her pain and heartbreak as she simply wanted to end her life. It's even more devastating to find out that when she finally got the courage to get a divorce and pursue happiness by dating and traveling around the world, it didn't last until a year as she suddenly passed away in an unexpected accident. It's no wonder many accused Charles and the royal family of killing Diana, especially since she wrote a letter saying that her husband was plotting to kill her. This letter was sent to her butler, Paul Burrell, 10 months after separating. She wrote, "This particular phase of my life is the most dangerous. My husband is planning an accident in my car, brake failure." But investigation said that the letter might be fake. Still, Diana's marriage was turbulent from the start, leading to many mental health struggles, from suicidal thoughts to eating disorders and paranoia. Princess Diana endured immense emotional pain and isolation from the beginning of her marriage till the end. Initially, it was hard for her to stay strong, and she often cowered in fear, having a happy facade in public while the truth was far from perfect.